everybody. In this tutorial I will try to show one way to make a race ghost. We're gonna show now a demonstration. First we will race just to make some data. Okay, the car got stuck. I will save, hit ESC, and when I play you can see now there is a purple car and it represents the ghost data we previously played. The wheels rotate, position, everything, it's recorded. So let's start. First we will start creating a vehicle template project for our tutorial purposes. With the project ready, we will start making a blueprint and create a save game class blueprint. I will call it Ghost Save Game. We will store all the informations of the ghost inside it. And we're also going to create a structure. I will call it car info struct. Inside the struct, we will create some informations, transform. The variable type will be transform. A new one called Throttle. The type is a float. Steering, it's also a float. And the last one, handbrake. These are the information we will store for replay the ghost data in a later time. So save all, and inside our pawn class, in this case is sedan, right? We will make some variables and some configurations. So let's start with the variables. The first one will be throttle. The variable type is a float. The other one, it's steering, it's also a float. And the last, it's a handbrake. The variable type will be boolean. Okay, compile and save. In the mesh, we will go to the collision tab and make some changes. Okay, we don't want the car to interact with the ghosts, so we will ignore the vehicle collision. This is just for the tutorial purpose. You will probably make a new object type for your ghost when you use this in your game. Now, next is we have to add configurations when the game begins. We want the car to be locked. So let's get the vehicle movement, okay, and set handbrake input. Okay, it will be a true. Let's set it true, and also let's set our variable as true and connect the nodes with the previous events. Now let's also add the steering and throttle variables in the middle of those events, inputs, I'm sorry. And the last will be the handbrake input. We are doing this because we will have to access those variables in a later time to record the information of the car. Okay, save and compile. For the last, yeah, that's it. It's ready. So right click on the sedan and let's create a child blueprint. We'll call it sedan ghost. And this will be our ghost class, okay? We will make some minor changes. The first of it will be duplicate the color material. Instead of blue, I will duplicate and change the color to red, so we can distinguish which is the player car and which is the ghost car, right? So we change the material. The red car will be our ghost car, right? The other configuration will be the collision, and in collision presets, it's already set at custom. We will add more things to be ignored. So physical body, palm, world dynamics, visibility, and camera. All those things will be ignored for the collision. Okay. Otherwise, the ghost will interact with objects in the match, and that's not what we are looking for, right? So save the last configuration. Click on the sedan ghost in the upper left corner, and in the right tab you can find palm and auto poses AI. Let's change from placing the world to spawned, okay? Otherwise the car will not respond to the commands in a later time. Okay, that thing done. Let's close all those tabs and let's go to the game mode. First, we will create some main variables that will be used later. The first one will be ghost info record. The variable type will be the struct we did, it's car info struct, and will be an array. We will record the match, the car information in that array. Control W to duplicate, and let's just change the name to replay in the end. And this will be the array that we will use for replay the ghost in the match. Okay. Before starting creating some functions, let's go back in the ghost save game class and create a new variable as well, call it car info array. Variable type will be car info struct and will be also an array. That is the class that we will storage our information. Okay, so back in the game mode, let's start creating some functions. The first one will be save game, then load game, record ghost, replay ghost, and the last one, spawn ghost. Okay. Now back to event graph. Let's add an event begin play. And the first thing we're gonna do is get player palm. And we're gonna cast it to the sedan class. That is our main class, right? The class we use for drive the car. Let's promote it to a variable. We call it player palm. And from event begin play, let's create a sequence node. Okay, save and compile. Now let's bring the load game function and plug it in. Before we continue with the other functions, let's go inside the load game and add an output for that function and call it true. I will explain later why are we doing this. It's for spawn the ghost, but let's go inside the spawn ghost as well and create an input this time and call it true. This is for respawning ghost only when we have loading game data, right? if we don't have a saved game, we don't need to spawn a ghost. So let's bring our spawn ghost function, plug those things on, and now we're gonna make a simple countdown timer, so we don't need to start the game already racing and get some time to prepare ourselves, right? So let's print string this get ready, make a delay of 2 seconds, copy and paste. This will be 3, this 1 second, copy and paste, 2, 1 second, copy and paste, 1 second delay, copy and paste, go. Okay, and from now on we will get our player pawn, get vehicle movement, and set handbrake input to be false, right? So the car, so you can drive the car. The car was locked before, remember? When the countdown is over, the car will be released. Let's also set our handbrake variable to false as well. Okay, that seems nice. Let's bring now the tick event. We will use this event for record and replay the ghost in the game. For each frame it's triggered, we will store and use that data. Alright, so let's create a gate for control the. Let's create a gate. Let's create a custom event. I will call it open gate. We don't want the tick to be triggered all the time, so in the end of the countdown we will call the open gate event, and when we call it, the tick will be, the gate will be open. Okay, in the exit of the gate, let's add record ghost and replay ghost. Alright, now let's start with functions. Let's start with the save game. In the save game we will create save game object. The save game class will be ghost save game, we created previously. Return value will be promoted to ghost saved game object. Okay, from here we will set our car info array, and the ghost info record will be the information we are going to store in that specifically array. After that, let's call save game to slot. Alright, the save game object will be the object we promoted, and slot name. This is important. I will promote it to a variable and call it save game slot name, and it cannot be blank. Okay, it has to be something right, otherwise the game will not be saved. And if you press B and click your mouse, you can create a shortcut for branch. Let's create a branch, and if it is true, let's print a string saying that game saved. And if it is false, let's create a string saying that game is not saved. This is just for debug purposes, right? Okay. And to finish this function, let's bring our object, go save game object, and make a validation is valid. This one, plug this in. Okay, so if this object is a valid, it will directly store the information inside the array. If this object was not promoted before, it will create the game object, promote it to a variable, and then store the array. Now let's go to the loading game. First thing we do is, does save game exist? Let's check if there is any save game slots. Let's plug our save game slot name variable. Let's create a branch, connect those values, and if it is true, we will load game from slot. Once again, let's plug in our variable slot, our slot name variable. Now let's cast to go save name, to return that return value, and from here we will get the car info array, and we will set the ghost info replay array with the car info array, right? And this is it. Plug it here. The return value from the check, the save game check, let's put it here. Also those false and cast fail things, so we don't have errors. Okay. Now the spawn ghost function. This is the function that spawns the ghost car in the game if there is any saved game before. So let's create a branch, connect the true with the condition. If it is true, we will spawn an actor from class. The class will be sedan ghost, and the spawn transform will be the player spawn transform. Now get mesh. From this we will get world transform. Alright, that's the player position in the game. In collision handling override, let's put it like always spawn ignore collisions, just to make sure. And from the return value, let's promote it to a variable and call it ghost pawn. Alright, save and compile. The last thing we should do before we start the ghost functions, let's go inside our sedan pawn, and with the right button, let's add a P. In my case, I will put it like P input to save the game. Alright, so get game mode, cast it to vehicle game mode, that is our mainly game mode, and from here let's save the game. Okay, this is so we can, this is for us to save the game when we race for the first time. Alright, let's go back to the game mode, and now let's start our ghost record and replay system. Let's bring our ghost info record array as a get. From here we connect an add node, so we can add a lot of elements for each frame in the game that will be the information of the car, right? If you right click on this pin, we can see there is a split struct pin. It shows us all the variables we have inside this struct array. Okay, I'm sorry, but I forgot to change the handbrake variable type. Let's go back in our struct and change it to boolean. Handbrake must be a boolean. Just save, go back to game mode, and it's fine now. Cool. Let's bring our player pawn reference, get mesh, get world transform. Once again, plug that in with transform. Let's get our throttle float, plug it in, throttle. Let's get the steering, plug it in, and let's get hand brake and plug it in. Yes, and this is it for record ghost function. Next function is replay ghost. Here we will need a new variable. I will call it index and make it an integer. It's not an array. Let's get it, and we need to make an addition with this variable and set it again. This is because for each frame in the game we need to update our index so we can get the right information from the ghost info replay array. Okay, so let's, from here, let's call a sequence node, and from the ghost info array, no, I'm sorry, let's get our ghost palm first and get mesh. Now the first event will be the car position, the car transform. So from the mesh, let's set world transform. Okay, let's plug this thing in, and from the array, let's get, plug our index variable into here, right click on the spin again, and split struct spin. Now we get the transform and plug it here. We also need to check in this the teleport boolean, otherwise the car will not run properly and you will have a lot of flags in your game. Now let's bring the vehicle movement from the ghost palm, and now let's set throttle input, set steering input, and set handbrake input. Alright, let's plug those in, and now the array information. Alright, save and compile, and this is it for the replay ghost system. Let me make a last check. I think it's already. If we hit play, we can see our countdown running in the print stream. Car was released. I will race a little bit just so we can have some data. Let me hit this wall. Alright, and I will press P to save, game save. ESC, and when I play it again, you can see the red car there. I have a delay in the last one. Yeah, it's replaying our last match. The wheels are rotating. This is it, folks. This is one way to make a ghost. If you have a better one, please make a comment, add me on Twitter, Discord, let's talk about it. I hope you all enjoyed. Have a nice day.